Snow fell in slow, uneven flakes, settling on the man's jacket as he trudged through the pine forest. Then came a sound that stopped him cold, a low, ragged growl. He turned. 10 paces away, half hidden under a branch, a gray wolf strained against a steel trap. Her front paw was twisted in steel, blood melting the snow beneath her. She thrashed once, teeth snapping at the empty air, then sagged in exhaustion. The animal's eyes burned with pain and fear. For a heartbeat, neither moved. The only sound was the wolf's shuddering breath. It would lunge if it could, but the trap held tight. He knew one wrong move could end with teeth at his throat. But leaving it meant a slower death. He dropped to one knee in the snow. His name was Ethan. He worked as a forest ranger. Though most days it didn't feel like a job, it felt like duty. His father had taught him the woods rules. If you take from it, you owe it something back. Lately, illegal traps had been showing up across the valley. Wolves, foxes, even deer had been caught and left to die. The rangers were stretched thin and the snow made travel slow. This one was alone. A young female, by the look of her ribs and size. She must have followed a scent too close to the line of bait. The steel jaws had crushed her leg. Ethan's heart hammered. The wolf's breathing grew faster, her teeth flashing whenever he shifted. He spoke low, his breath misting the air. "It's all right. I'm not here to hurt you." But she didn't know his words, only his tone. He set his pack down carefully, rummaging for the release bar. The wolf flinched at the sound of metal. Every move he made sent a tremor through her. Ethan edged closer, inch by inch, knees wet from melting snow. He reached the trap. The wolf snapped, missing his glove by inches. He froze. Their eyes met. One wild, one human, both desperate. "I know," he whispered. "You're scared. So am I." He laid the bar against the spring, pressed down with all his weight. The trap barely moved. His gloves slipped. The wolf yelped, thrashing, spraying snow and blood. He backed off, chest heaving. It would have been easier to shoot her, and the pain. But something in her eyes, that flicker of defiance, stopped him. He wasn't going to let a poacher's cruelty win. He stripped off his jacket and threw it over her head. The wolf bucked, growling beneath the fabric, but the darkness calmed her just enough. Ethan pressed again on the bar. This time, the steel gave way. The trap sprang open with a sharp click. The wolf's leg came free. She didn't run. She stumbled, collapsed into the snow. Ethan pulled the jacket off, keeping distance. Her sides heaved. For a long minute, they just looked at each other, two creatures breathing steam into the frozen air. Then, limping and trembling, she turned and disappeared into the trees. Ethan watched her vanish between the trunks, leaving only blood and paw prints in the snow. Weeks passed. The snow melted into rivers that sang through the valley. Spring brought green, then rain, and the forest returned to life. Ethan fixed fences, checked cameras, patrolled the ridgelines. But every time he walked the northern trail, he thought of the wolf, whether she'd survived, whether she still limped. One evening, he camped near the lake, fire crackling low. The scent of pine resin drifted on the smoke. He felt eyes on him, the kind of watching that prickled the neck. He turned. Across the firelight, at the edge of the dark, two pale shapes stood between the trees. Wolves. One stepped forward. She moved with a faint hitch in her gait, the same leg, the same gray coat. His chest tightened. The female stopped 10 paces away. Behind her, shadows shifted. More wolves, a full pack, their eyes catching the light. Ethan didn't move. The fire popped. The leader's gaze was calm now, not afraid. She tilted her head once like recognition. He slowly reached into his pack and pulled out a strip of dried meat. He tossed it gently into the snow. She didn't take it. Instead, she stared another moment, long enough for something silent to pass between them, then turned, melting back into the dark. Months later, late autumn again, a storm rolled over the mountains. Ethan was caught on patrol when his ATV broke down. The radio crackled once, then died. He tried the trail on foot, but the snow came fast, blinding, heavy. He lost the path. The wind howled through the trees. By nightfall, he was shivering uncontrollably, fingers numb. He stumbled into a hollow beneath a fallen log and huddled there, soaked and shaking. His flashlight dimmed to a whisper of light. He thought about sleep. About how quiet the woods could be when you stopped fighting them. Then, a sound. Low, distant. A howl. Another answered, closer. Through the white curtain of snow, dark shapes emerged, 5, 6 of them moving in a ring. Wolves. The same pack. Ethan's heart slammed. He tried to stand, but his legs barely obeyed. The wolves closed in, silent except for their breathing. The gray female, his wolf, stepped forward. She sniffed the air, then padded closer until she was only a few feet away. Her breath steamed in the cold. She didn't attack. She didn't run. She simply stood there, eyes bright in the stormlight, and turned her head toward the forest, the direction of the valley trail. He understood. Using his last strength, Ethan followed where she led. The wolves moved around him, not touching, but never far, guiding through drifts and darkness until the beam of a ranger station light flickered through the snow. He collapsed at the threshold. When rescuers found him hours later, he mumbled something about wolves, how they'd led him home. They didn't believe him. But in the snow beyond the cabin, 6 sets of paw prints led up the trail, then vanished into the trees. Months after, when the forest thawed again, Ethan returned to the ridge where he'd freed her. The trap was gone. Only a patch of wildflowers had grown where the blood once fell. From deep in the valley, a single howl rose, long and clear. Ethan turned toward the sound. The wind moved through the pines. Then nothing.